Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're talking about FACEIT. FACEIT is a new platform, or rather a established platform for other games that was recently launched for SMITE as well. So it's a new platform for SMITE. It's kind of an alternative matchmaking for SMITE that should or is supposed to allow you to have better matchmaking, better games, more rewards of various sorts, and as such has been all the rage lately. The big reason it's been all the rage among the pros is because they most likely got sponsored for promoting it. Given that for roughly 1 to 2 weeks, every single SMITE pro out there that streams had FACEIT in the title of his games or his streams, and all of a sudden it's completely gone. I wonder why. So people asked me to test FACEIT, and that's what I did, and now you'll get my unsponsored, unbiased opinion on this. And spoilers, it's not gonna be very good. I will also explain you how this whole thing works, so if you want to test it out yourself, you'll be able to. So first of all, you set up your account, yada yada. I'm not going to go through all that. That's like with every other platform. Get an account name, stuff like that. And then you kind of have to verify your account with your in-game account, with your SMITE in-game account. Then you have to verify your level. You have to select your region, which you can't change ever so often. And then you're ready to queue. You click the play button and you go for it. The selection here is quite obvious, or a little unstructured in my opinion, but it's quite obvious as what you choose. You choose whatever match type you want. You have the option between Arena and Conquest, obviously, and then which of the ladders. I'm really confused about the ladders still, what the difference is. Like, one is daily, one is for a month, and I guess it's about the rewards, but it makes it really irritating because I feel like not even remotely enough people queue to have so many different queues being justifiable, but that's whatever to me. What was not whatever to me was actually testing that shit out. Here you see me testing one Conquest queue, here another, and then we got the Arena queues, and then we actually got a match in this one. Well, it ain't that great. I don't know how much time I spent in total, must have been like 15 minutes roughly, just waiting for queues to get a single match, which then ended up being Arena because apparently no one plays Conquest on this platform anymore. Which in my opinion makes absolutely no sense. You want to have more competitive matches and you put Arena there at the priority match? Like the top matches are all Arena. I get that they maybe didn't have enough player base, but then split it up into Arena of 3 different kinds and Conquest of 3 different kinds and put the Arena up top. You're not gonna get any kind of competitive matches that way. What you're gonna get is some weird-ass Arena games. So you get this notification, audio notification as well, which is really nice, allows you to join the game, and when you accept, you'll get an invite to a custom lobby in-game, so you don't really have to do anything other than accepting that in-game lobby. So what you do, you know your team, you know the enemy team, there's a team leader for whatever reason. Doesn't actually make a difference because you're not automatically first pick or anything. I was actually team leader in last pick. I don't know what the hell was about, but that's what it is, right? So we get this last pick, which is really fucking great in an Arena game with draft. I don't even know. Like, in my opinion, Arena is way too much of a casual mode to even have a draft, but let's say it needs a draft. So this has a normal draft settings with the same duration, so you take ages to actually get into that Arena match. I think by the time we actually had the match, I must have spent like roughly 10 minutes between the queue and waiting on the match lobby, and then actually waiting on other people in the match lobby to choose their gods. So yeah, 10 minutes roughly for an Arena game, meaning I could have just queued and my Arena game would have been halfway over pretty much. Oh, maybe not quite, but I would have been in there for 5 minutes at least. So if I go through all this torture in order to get a match, there should be a benefit behind it, right? Well, fuck you, there is no benefit there. The match itself is much worse in terms of matchmaking than anything I have seen. You will see some background footage of the match. If you play the game for a while, you'll be able to tell how horrible that matchmaking was. I'll show you the end game screen as well, and you can tell for yourself by the builds and shit like that. I actually thought that the players weren't even level 30 yet in my team. They are. I don't know how they got to level 30. I don't know how they didn't cancel their accounts before that, but oh well. They did want to play the game to levels 30, and then apparently matchmaking was too rough for them or whatever, and they decided to go FACEIT. I have never seen any players that clueless in my matches. I'm gonna be straight up honest here. The only time I've seen players that clueless was when I was matched with pre-level 30s because no one else was queuing. So that's what happens with FACEIT as well, right? Because you literally have 10 people queuing at max, and then This was at prime time on a Sunday, so not like no room for enough players or anything. It's just the player base of FACEIT, I guess, but the matchmaking didn't even equally distribute between the teams. There was such a disparity in skill level between the teams. I don't know if the enemy team was a 5-man pre-made or something, but I don't think so, actually. So everyone's base matchmaking gets completely reset. There's nothing taken over from the high-risk accounts, and you basically get a completely new start, so everyone has to be re-evaluated. And that kind of makes sense, right? But that means that the matchmaking for the first few matches is going to be atrocious. And after that, it doesn't get better because there are no more players that play on FACEIT for it to be even better. And then there's no really a reason to play FACEIT because it's just so much more tedious to find a match. It takes so much longer and there's just no point in it. The benefits of it are that at this point you now get the same rewards as if you were to play on the normal servers. You get the same worshipper kind of stuff, you get the same level points, but now I think you're actually only allowed to join with level 30, so maybe not even that anymore, no XP anymore, but whatever, favor I think. On top of that, the reason why I was gonna try this out anyways and I was gonna say, hey, let's see if that might be worth it still. There are gems. You can get gems on FACEIT. That's great in itself, right? Or you can get a special chest roll for a FACEIT chest. Stuff like that. That's actually cool. Only that I don't think sitting through this absolutely horrendous matches is even remotely close to worth it. Okay, so let's say you desperately need gems. And you really have no other way to get them because you don't want to do surveys and you don't have a job that would allow you to buy that kind of stuff, right? Then I could see the point in queuing on FACEIT. But what I would do is I would just queue with a friend and completely abuse the fact that we would probably be superior to 90% of the player base just by that for a very long time until there's some competent players from time to time. But overall, that's just a shit show. I'm sorry, but it is a shit show. There is no benefit in that in terms of improving your own skill, having fun in the matches because they're fair. Anything like that completely falls on the table just to get gems. So I might as well actually do high-risk surveys if they're available in my country because it's about as fun as a FACEIT match is at the moment. And now I could say, you know, that's just my opinion and my experience and blah, blah, blah. But I've obviously reached out to other people as well who made the very same experience. Almost anyone I have talked to said the matchmaking is a complete joke and that is not worth playing unless you just want to pop stomp. But we're not done here. This is not all the problems that exist with this platform. It goes beyond that. Because the FACEIT match lobby is a custom lobby, there is actually the option to pause the game at any point. Do you see a problem with that? Spoilers. You can pause the game forever if you're losing. And this is what some players did. They just kept spamming the pause function in a game they were about to lose until the enemy team actually eventually ended up surrendering because FACEIT wasn't actually able to do anything about it. They couldn't interrupt the game in any way. They couldn't stop the pausing from happening because they couldn't access the high-risk servers because they're FACEIT and not high-risk. So in the end, obviously, the points probably get reverted at some point on the road, but you get losses for reasons that are outside of playing poorly and then have to contact the support for that. And it doesn't end there. You can also somehow skip a lobby if you don't accept until the very last second you're allowed to accept, because then the allies have no option to join the game anymore. It's some kind of weird mechanic with the lobby or the game popping up at the same time as you get the invite basically, but the invite not being sent out until everyone has accepted. And that way you can basically give someone else an AFK punishment while you are actually the one just being too late on things. And it goes on, there's still more problems. For example, the fact that there's a ridiculous amount of AFKs because apparently they somehow get punished differently from the normal high-risk games, which is also absolutely freaking great. So even in my first game I already had an AFK towards the end. And then there's the problem that 5-man premates get matched with everyone else. That's obviously not gonna be good in any regard. There's just too little players to actually have any kind of solid matchmaking, so you get that kind of stuff. All in all, there are so many problems. It's ridiculous. So what I can tell you after my brief experience and from the experience that I've got transferred from others, so to speak, do not use FACEIT. If you absolutely need the gems, do it and just pop stomp. But if you really want to learn the game, improve at the game, have normal matches without levers and trolling and stuff like that, there is nothing to gain in FACEIT except for the gems. Now this may obviously change at some point down the road, but well, good luck with that. You can hope for it, but if it's gonna happen, it's a completely different matter. It's also kind of a bit disappointing in that context to see that a lot of the pros seem to speak rather positively about the platform because they got sponsored, which I understand, right? If you get sponsored, you probably have some kind of clause that doesn't allow you to speak all too critically of it, but at the same time, I feel like you shouldn't really promote and praise something without actually having the feeling that it's worthy of that, and I would say that's a pretty clear case with FACEIT at this point. I'm pretty certain that actually somebody of the FACEIT team will see this. They usually have a very active PR team. As such, apologies for being so hard on your platform, but I just tried to find anything positive about it, and I really couldn't. The only nice thing that is there is the fact that you can queue on FACEIT and in SMITE at the same time, which means if you have long queues, you may get a quicker one. And that's really it. With that out of the way, I just wanted to announce again that I'll be doing my Halloween stream tomorrow, which will be starting earlier than usual. You will probably get notified here as well. Really, I recommend stopping by because I'm gonna give away a lot of cool stuff. I announced that in the previous videos already, just letting you know again. I hope to have a lot of fun. I'm probably gonna do a lot of video games. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow. Duke Sloth, out. Yo, this is my new end screen and this shit's gonna be really cool very soon, but I haven't set it up yet, so sorry about that. Feel free to sub anyways if you haven't yet, and feel free to check out the other video that will be linked here. I will be working on a new one very soon. Don't worry, the old song's not gone, just takes a bit of transition time. Sorry about that, guys.